Hello, Thunder Maniacs. It is Eric, aka Thunder and Terry Marshall, aka Thunder Lips, in the flesh, baby. Well, no, it's not really in the flesh, in the audio, baby. Hey, welcome back to Thunder Lips. We're gonna be reviewing the April 15th, the tax day, if you will, Friday Night Fury. Actually, it was the pre-Easter Friday Night Fury to me. It's kind of funny, tax day. Tax collectors be coming the day before, on Good Friday, before Easter. So anyways, I may not be as enthusiastic as normal. Had a long weekend, in the Easter play, helped the lady move. Pretty wore out, and then, man, that pollen got me. It got me. The allergies are messing with me, so we're all snotted up here. But hey, if Chris Page can power through all that content he's been dropping with the vid, I can't let these allergies stop me, right? Can't let these allergies stop me. Can't have Page out here making me look like a little punk. But he makes me look like a punk with all the content he puts out anyways.
Well, isn't that special?
But anyways, let's talk about Friday Night Fury. Man, what a stacked Friday Night Fury the 15th was. You know what, man? Not the 15th. Man, I am in time. I am time traveling here. I am time traveling. No, it wasn't the 15th. It was the 7th. My goodness. Look, I told you, the allergy medicines, and it was a long weekend. They got me. 15th is actually Saturday. It's going to be the day after here. This will come out on the 14th. Friday Night Fury is on the 7th. So we are starting off on the wrong foot already. But anyways, let's get into the nitty gritty. The 4-7 Friday Night Fury. We started off with the camera, a little recap what happened last week. Then we see Peter Vaughn is being blocked from entering the Lightning Flex. He's willing to chance it against Cannon Gunner. But when the door opens and he sees Charles O. Patrick, the COP, and a gang of security officers, even Peter Vaughn knows, as tough and as crazy as he is, it's better to leave and fight another day than to try and deal with all that security. So, Peter Vaughn leaves, he's gone, and we get our first match. We got Fred and Clyde against Tristan Slater and Mac Bain. Tristan Slater channeled a little Keanu Reeves for this one, man, for their little role play. The story was interesting, and it definitely had me chuckling, as they're traveling through time and space in their phone booth.
Excellent!
Who had the better phone booth, Doctor Who or Bill and Ted? Do people even know what a phone booth is nowadays? So anyways, then Fred and Clyde, unfortunately, there's no role play between them. They just had a little implosion of their team. Stuff like that happens. You're not used to teaming with somebody, not used to working with somebody. You may butt heads. And, they just had creative differences, and they let me know a few days before that they weren't going to be able to work together. They weren't going to be able to get a role play together. So they just kind of took the L there, as you saw. And the results had a little Strike Force dilemma going on. I know other people have done it, but to me, it's always going to be Strike Force. When Rick the Model Martel, well, he wasn't Rick the Model Martel yet, he was just Rick Martel, hopped off the apron and left Tito Santana to be eaten alive by the demolition. That evil Rick the Model Martel. That poor old Tito Santana. But that's what Fred did to Clyde. Left Clyde alone to be beaten by Tristan Slater and Mac Bain. I was interested in seeing what Fred and Clyde were going to do as far as their work goes. I'm not super familiar with Clyde's work, I've only seen one or two role plays from him, and that's as a different character. And Fred, I've seen a lot of his work in WGWF and IIW, so WGWF is more closely related to Thunder Pro Wrestling and style of writing than IIW is, but he's good in both of them, so it would have been interesting to see what they did. But unfortunately, that's not how the cookie crumbled for him. So after that, we had, I made some notes this time, people, so I don't leave anybody hanging. We had a segment from 999. So this name makes me think about two things. First, it makes me think about the Slipknot song, and then it makes me think about Inglourious Bastards, where we got Hitler banging on the desk. 99999. So 999. And one of my match writers pointed out to me, said, man, writing his matches is going to be weird because it's like 999, ducks a clothesline, 999 with a drop kick. So, I'm not hating on the name. It's going to be interesting. The segment was interesting. Definitely written like a vignette you would see for a coming character on television. So, definitely not a bad vignette. It's going to be an interesting character. I've talked to the handler. I'm familiar with his work as someone else, somewhere else, I'm not divulging that information because I don't believe they want to divulge at this moment. So, your secret is safe with me, 999. Let's see what you hold for the future of Thunder Pro Wrestling. Then, we had another segment. We had Alexander Marshall making his debut. This is Terry Marshall's younger brother. We're getting an update on Terry Marshall's health. The crowd is excited. The segment was provocative. It got the people going. As we're in Terry Marshall's office, when we see a big chair, the chair spins around and it's an unfamiliar face. But we get a name graphic letting us know, hey, this is Terry Marshall's brother, Alexander Marshall, father of backstage interviewer Sandy Marshall. Just thought I'd throw that out there for the lore of everyone who follows TPW lore. So Alexander Marshall lets us know, hey, when Terry's out hurt, he has medical power of attorney as far as Thunder Pro Wrestling goes. He's got experience in the business, experience as a businessman. So he's in charge of Thunder Pro Wrestling while Terry Marshall is out. His first act was to suspend Peter Vaughn. Then Alexander Marshall is getting ready to address the Malvados for saying they are not going to take part in the Sex Cup. But his punishment of the Malvados, his statement to the Malvados, is cut short as he gets a call from a big red phone, meaning, hey, this must be important if it's from a big red landline phone. And it's Cannon Gunner, and Peter Vaughn is going crazy outside. So, cameras cut to outside. Peter Vaughn has laid waste to these security guards. He's armed with a weapon. I can't remember if it's a bat or a pipe. It's something heavy and swingable. And he is swinging on these security guards, dropping them like they're indie jobbers who don't get a name and are just booked for one night to work security and backstage segments. He's even got Cannon Gunner and Charles O'Patrick reeling, heading for the hills, and there are TPW Doug Dillingers. We got two Doug Dillingers. That's how crazy things got around here. So Peter Vaughn sends those people for the hills running, and then he has a tow truck. What is a former janitor / mechanic doing with a tow truck? He throws it around the Thunder Pro Wrestling sign, pulls the Thunder Pro Wrestling sign logo off of the lightning plex, and he gets out with an axe, and that's what gets Charles O'Patrick or Cannon Gunner, I can't remember which one right now, running for the hills. And then Vaughn takes the axe and goes to work, cuts up the TPW logo to leave its laying in PV for Peter Vaughn, because Peter Vaughn feels that Thunder Pro Wrestling is his house, that he built Thunder Pro Wrestling, that Thunder Pro Wrestling would not be a thing, would not be around if it wasn't for Peter Vaughn. And honestly, if we're doing our 4 pillars of Thunder Pro Wrestling, Peter Vaughn is probably the first pillar we're going to put in there. After that, probably went to a commercial, honestly. Then we come back from commercial, and we got the Convictical against 6G. So the Convictical, I had to look this up. I was like, man, I got to know what this thing means. And so normally it's a meeting, a secret religious meeting, normally of some zealots or non-mainstream type religious group. So hey, you learn something new every day, and sometimes the new things that you learn come from me, Betty. I like to learn things, right? I remember I went through a string where I tried to put some education on all my role plays, and no matter what type of character I had, you're going to learn a little something. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't work out. But hey, it was fun. I like to learn new things. And they took on 6G. Another new thing I learned is what 6G stood for. Now, I can't remember it right off the top of my head. It's the Goofy, Glamour, something girls. There's 3 G's there I'm missing. So, I'm in West Virginia. We're lucky if we got 3G service here. So, and I'll be honest, like both these role plays are pretty good. I was not familiar with the Convictical, like I said. Not heard of any of these characters. But their roleplay was very interesting, give me a good backstory on one of the members of the team and what led them to be how they are. It leaves me some suspense, wondering what's going on with the characters. The promo, man, it was like some cut D peel type stuff, talking about the insecurity of the girls of 6G, the way that they want to post their provocative pictures, how their careers based on their looks. Like it was a good promo, I'm not gonna lie. 6G, like I said, I was familiar with their names more than the Convictical. Honestly, I'd never even heard of the Convictical. So, just based off reputation, name value going into this, if we're judging a book by a cover, you think 6G's going to run them over. And then 6G's promo, like, it wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it wasn't good. You can tell it's the type of promo, type of role play, I should say, that would excel in some other feds and not in some feds. It's very promo heavy, kind of lacking on the story. It wasn't bad promo. It was, it was goofy in a good way. It was, had a lot of levity to it. And I could see how it was successful other places. Just not the kind of, TPW's more on the story. The Convicto had me wanting to come back and read more. 6G is definitely just like it's more of like a one-off type story. Didn't progress anything as far as the characters in my eyes, and it didn't leave you asking any questions. I wanted to see what's happening next. It was just like a one-off special type deal. Whereas the other one, the Convictical, it had me wanting to know what's happening next. Both of them were very solid role plays. I was worried about both of them because I looked at the Convictical, sent them a message about, hey, which 2 of the 3 are going to be in this match, and I noticed when I did, they hadn't been logged in like 2 weeks. I was like, oh man, that's not good. And then I went and looked at the 6G, and they hadn't been logged in like a week, so I was afraid I was about to get a double no-show. So y'all had me scrambling, y'all had me reeling, and then you both put up good role plays and made it hard for me to decide who was going to win. So that was definitely a match that stood out to me. After that, we had another segment. We have another mystery man. This is a mystery man that's been kind of leaving some ominous, mysterious messages since Thunder in Paradise 2. Now, this was supposed to be Colt Maxim's segment spot. We get the mystery man leaving his ominous messages and planting some flags. But then Colt Maxim comes out because it was his time. And he was upset about this, man. He grabbed those flags, broke them over his knee, ripped one, threw one in the crowd. And he said, hey, look, I'm tired of all these people thinking they can come in through Thunder Pro, be all creepy, spooky, be all mysterious, not want to tell you who they are, hide their names, hide their faces. I'm here since day 1 of season 2. He was coming in for season 1. So Colton makes a challenge to this person. Says, hey, meet me in the ring at Retromania. I'm making sure you're not running away because we're going to be connected at the wrist with this bull rope. So we got a bull rope match laid out here. The mystery person is going to meet Colt Maxim at Retromania in a bull rope match. So that way, the mystery person, we're going to see who they are because they're going to be tied to the wrist of Colt Maxim. They're going to have this big, thick rope, and in the middle, a big old cowbell. And normally the edge of those cowbells are sharpened up a little bit so things can get bloody. Love a good bull rope match, so we'll see how this goes. Fits right in with the Retromania theme of having old school matches. After that, we had our special match as Brooke Blakely faced Serena Riot in Serena Riot's retirement tour. Let me tell you, they left it all out in the ring. If you're on a retirement tour, that's definitely a match you'd have on a retirement tour for Serena Riot. Brooke Blakely, Serena Riot, man, they pushed it hard. It wasn't a super close call. It wasn't like I shouldn't say a super close call. It wasn't an easy call, as I was trying to say on the winner there. Serena Riot just gave us a straight out promo. And you got to have that story here, man. You got to have that story. You're on your own retirement tour. So many options, things you can do for a good story there. But that's not everybody's style. That's not what everybody looks for in role plays. It's not what everybody's used to. It's different strokes for different folks, different styles, and different aisles. Brooke Blakely gave us some stories, some character development, some build, and she got the win with it, man. You gotta have something besides just trash talk here, honestly. But hey, props to Serena Riot. She's been successful a lot of places. She's pretty well known. I heard she's going to reopen her old Fed. So hey, good luck after retirement, man. There is life after you. I guess whatever. You know what I mean. enjoy whatever comes next for you. Honestly. After that, we had the Volcane segment. Let me tell you, man. He sent me a segment, and I started reading it. I'm thinking, like, what is going on here? And then I popped so big when it was Prestige Worldwide with oh my gosh, I love this. This was my favorite segment of the week. I laughed so hard reading this. I probably look like an idiot if my wife looked out into my gym, because I have my garage gym. That's where I work out at. I got like a weight room in my garage, and I'm sitting there on my bench reading this segment in between sets, and I'm just dying laughing. Beach and Richter and Brendan and Dell, bitch Volcano joined a Prestige Worldwide. And he said he's going to keep the characters around for his role plays and got to help him out for a little bit for this story. And I'm looking forward to that, man. That's going to be some funny stuff. I had to throw in Boats and Hoes when we cut back from this segment. Boats and Hoes playing in the arena. And I had to put a picture up in there. Step Brothers is one of my all-time favorite comedy movies, man. It's got to be like top 5, if not top 5, super close to the top 5 for me. Hilarious movie. So that really got me into it. Had to crack it up. After that, we had a Nova Sky Ricky Stanton segment. Nova Sky came out and said, you know what, Ricky Stanton, you want a piece of this? I'm undefeated. I am Supernova. She probably didn't say those words exactly. I can't remember. I don't have it right in front of me. And it's been since Friday afternoon that I read it. So, basically saying, look, Ricky Stanton, you've won like one match in Thunder Pro Wrestling. You've only had like one match with Thunder Pro Wrestling. And you think that you can beat me and take my title? Good luck. So, Nova Sky accepts Ricky Stanton's challenge, and they are going to meet at Retromania. That's going to be a very interesting match. The segment, man, they're two people that I know can work great segments. When I put these guys together, I knew that this was going to be a very hands-off angle, that they were going to come up with some great stuff on their own without me having to pitch everything to them. And that's always great. And I think, I like to watch the stories unfold just like everybody else. So I think this has been a very interesting feud, and it's going to continue to be very interesting. So, after Pretty Ricky Stanton in Nova Sky, we had another Sex Cup match when the Manhattan Project, which, that might be my favorite tag team name in this tournament, honestly. Manhattan Project, a little dual meaning there, but it's a super cool name, honestly. Definitely something I could see in, WWE, AEW, Impact, whatever. But definitely cool name. And they took on the Golden Grapparellas. I kind of thought, Manhattan Project was the only team that did not do a collaborative role play. And there's nothing wrong with that. That definitely didn't hurt them. But
It's just unusual. Just the only thing they didn't do it. I guess it's not unusual. Just, it wasn't what I was expecting. Only team that didn't do it. But hey, they were still successful as they pulled off the win against the Golden Grapparellas. Thad and J-Mont, it's a tough team, man. They're gonna be hard to beat. I think the word count was tough for J-Mont. Everything seemed a little bit rushed. And his role play, like, I better hurry up and do this, or I better hurry up and do that. But hey, he hit, all the key points. He gave me a promo without it being floating in the void. He gave me a story. Let me know what's going on with him. It was a little bit mundane, but he still gave me a story. Thad, he knocked it out of the park. The only downside I had to Thad was, his promo was just floating in the void, which, like I've said, I don't know how many times I've said this now. I'll probably say every single Thunder Lips until I never see it again. I hate that, man. Like, I get it. It's super common now. Like, that's what everybody does, but it's just, I'm not a fan of it at all. Just not a fan of it. Like, there's no setting, there's no writing skill, just a promo to it. Which means the promo takes writing. So, there's no, creativity to the setting where you're at, no flow, no transition from the story into the role play. It's not a fan of the promo floating in the void like that. Golden Grapparellas, man, I'll be honest, it was rough for me to get through that role play. It's not that they're bad writers. Just the content of it, man, just is not up my alley. I even, consulted with someone else, another judge, to get their opinion, just to make sure that I wasn't being biased because of the content of the Golden Grapparellas roleplay. They had the same thing, man. It's just rough to get through, just overly sexualized. Kind of like it's just their whole gimmick to be sex characters. And man, I don't know how well that works out for you other places. I don't think it's not something that's long term going to work for you. It's just, there's nothing to that. There's no substance. So really, it's a big miss for me, man. Like I said, I got a second opinion on it just to make sure that I wasn't being biased because of my personal opinions on that type of content for role plays. And personally, the same feeling, just over sexualized characters. Like the whole point is just not a fan of it all, man. Just did not like it. So Manhattan Project, they picked up the win. And they look solid, man. Like I said, I was surprised they didn't do a collab role play, but maybe it adds to their whole team feel where it's Saga and CCPE. So we'll see how that works out for them. See if they collab next time or if they do 2 singles role plays again. But after that, we had another segment. Johnny C was able to get some content that could make it past standards and practices this time on whatever network we're on. We're on Stars last time. I haven't said where we're at now, so does it matter? Do you need to have the network that you're on? I'm on Amazon Prime. Said we're somewhere. We're somewhere you want to watch it. We'll figure it out. If you guys think we need a network, give me a suggestion. Some networks. Splat wants us on there. We can be on Splat or I don't know, wherever. Anyways, I'm still loopy, man. I took some allergy medicine now, so it's probably even worse. It was a long day at work, so my brain might be more fried than it was on the way to work. So anyways, we got Johnny C coming up with this segment. Johnny C and anger management. Man, this is a good segment. It was kind of long, it's kind of long for a segment. It felt like it went long, but it was good, Definitely developed a character. Definitely developed where he's going. We can see some changes, It lets you know more about Johnny C. Like, if you're not familiar with IIW and their content, you may not be familiar with Johnny C because, Johnny hasn't really been in a lot of other places outside of IIW and that little IIW circle in the past. I don't mean that like a little circle. You know how it is. Like, you get feds that are kind of in a circle with each other. Like, the talent rotates back and forth between 2 or 3 feds. At least that's how it used to be, back in the day. Now it's a little bit more wide open. It used to be those circles have expanded, but so good look into who Johnny C is, what makes Johnny C tick. I'm interested in seeing where this anger management cycle is going to go with him, how what's going to change up his character and help him develop his character. But it definitely, is a good twist, good change of pace for Johnny C. After that, we had a JC Phoenix segment with Nova Sky, and man, this thing was different than what you may expect. It was definitely different than what I expected. It's not something I would think you're going to see on a wrestling show. And don't get me wrong, that's not me hating on it. It's different, I'm not upset about it being different either. It's, a good change of pace, some supernatural elements thrown into there. So, look, one time in GCWA, the Fed that Peter Von ran back in the day, I the Starship Desolator, which was Terry Marshall's tag team partner, Space Lord, his spaceship had a battle with a Dragon Zord. So, if you want to throw a pyromancer in here, I'm not going to get upset about that. Who am I to judge your creativity and wackiness of your story, right? Mine was wacky. I wouldn't say this pyromancer story was wacky. But man, after the last Thunder Lips, when I crack up laughing about Big Boss Man and Al Snow with the dog, this JC Phoenix Nova Sky dog angle went a whole different direction than what I expected. Nova Sky thinks she's going to go be able to save her dog from JC Phoenix, and the limousine explodes like Mr. McMahon's death scene, and we get a pyromancer floating through the sky, shooting flames. Bro, it was different. It was good, don't get me wrong. It's just different than what you're probably used to seeing on a wrestling show. Good development in this story. I talked to Nova, maybe I would have done you and JC instead of you and Ricky if I knew you guys had this whole big story planned. But they've told me, hey, we can keep running this story. It's not going to be a short story. So this is going to be interesting to see where this goes, where it ends this at, honestly. It's different, and I like that because, sometimes you need to break the wrestling stuff up. Is this our Dungeon of Doom, but in a good way? You know what I mean? The Dungeon of Doom was different, so maybe this is different in a good way. Because it's got the fantasy kind of aspect to it. It's got a little bit of myth to it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's different, so it'll shake things up a little bit. Like I said, I'm interested to see where all this goes. After that, we had our main event match of the evening. The Gangsters of Christ against Fook and Hoot. Man, this was a good match. I thought the role plays were good. I was happy to see Alice back. Her and CJ turned in a good role play that definitely had its points that were cracking me up. It was a pretty close contest, really. The Gangsters of Christ, definitely, they gave me a really good story this time around, man. They were super promo heavy in their last outing. This time, man, they gave me a good story that hooked me, got me interested. So it's going to be interesting to see if they keep that going. Fook and Hoot, man, they did good work. The match itself, I personally thought it was a good match. I haven't got any feedback as of the time of this recording. Actually, I did get one back. I apologize. The Malvados, they liked it. So I thought it was a good match. But in the middle of that match, something interesting happened when the Lost Soul, the Lost Stranger, TLS himself appeared in the crowd and sat down and just watched the match. Looked like he was a little bit disappointed with Alice Knight and CJ O'Donnell. So it's kind of interesting what's going to go on here. If you people aren't familiar with TLS, he was a GCWA, OCW, ICWF stalwart, man. Like I said, you get those circles, and those are that was a circle back in the day. GCWA, OCW, ICWF. One would close, the other would reopen. I don't remember them ever all being open at the same time, but you bounce back and forth. You had the same core group of members in the three. That's where I met a lot of these guys. I mean, they're some of the best role players I've ever seen in the game. I've come through those feds. They may not have been the most popular fed at the time. They may not have been the biggest, but man, they had some great writers. And TLS has been in there, and he's hung in there with every single one of them. Dude's good. I first faced him over 20 years ago. He got some good writers, so we'll see how he does now that he's in Thunder Pro Wrestling and he's broadening his horizons. After that, we got our main event segment. Because, sometimes you can have a main event segment instead of just a match. We're pulling a little Monday Night Raw, closing it off with a hot segment. We had Chris Page and Marcus Decarian. First of all, let me tell you how happy I am to know that he got rid of that terrible Green Day music after I buried it on Thunder Lips last time. I told him, I said, man, you can use whatever you want as intro music. I don't care. It's not going to have any effect whatsoever on your matches or your grading. Like, I don't care. It's you do you, man. Like, just because I don't like the song and think it sucks doesn't mean you have to stop using it. Like, if you like it, you think it fits your character, then go for it. But he changed his music, and I'm super happy about that because I thought that song was terrible. But anyways, not what you may have expected from this segment. You may think Chris Page is going to try to attack him. He's going to try to set him up. But no, he brought out CCPE member and former tag team partner of Marcus Decarian, Xavier Lux. That's right, Xavier Lux and Marcus Decarian used to be known as Sins of the Father. One of the biggest rivals ever, probably the biggest rival ever of the Sports Entertainment Express and GCWA. Xavier said, look, Marcus, you don't have to fight Page. You can just join Chris Page Enterprises. And they present him with a CCPE shirt and walk off. And the show ends with Marcus pulling the CCPE shirt off of his shoulder and staring at it. So that leaves you to wonder what's going to come next. Is Marcus Decarian going to join CCPE and, give up that international title shot at Retromania? Is he going to join and be like, I'm still going to keep my match at Retromania? Is he going to use the shirt as toilet paper? Is he going to pull a DDP with the NWO shirt, put it on, then take it off and drop somebody with a diamond cutter? Make him feel the bang. He doesn't do a diamond cutter, but you know what I mean. We're going to find out at the next Thunder Paradise. Listen to me. Not next Thunder Lives. We're going to find out at the next Friday Night Fury what's going on with Marcus here. Is Marcus coming to join CCPE? Is he not going to join CCPE? Is he not even going to give us an answer at the next Friday Night Fury? I guess we're going to have to tune in to find out. Speaking of the next Friday Night Fury, we're going to have to go over that card here in just a minute. All right, let's check it out here. All right, now, looking ahead to Friday Night Fury. This is going to be our April 21st card. Not getting the date wrong for the preview. Might have got the date wrong when I started out the recap, but we're getting it right for the preview here. This April 21st card, man, what was I thinking? This is a lot of matches. We got 8 matches. Honestly, this is this is definitely the biggest Friday Night Fury we've ever had. Last time, season 1, we were weekly instead of bi-weekly, but we only did pay-per-views like every 2 months. Once a month we'd have a super show Friday Night Fury, kind of like a Saturday night's main event version of Friday Night Fury. So they would not be at the Thunderdome or the Lightning Plex, they'd be at a different location. Like we had Miami Vice in Miami, obviously. They were kind of themed around whatever city we're in. We had Music City Mayhem. We had a couple others. I don't remember off the top of my head. Those are 2 that really stick out because they had real big matches on. Miami Vice was like the first super show. But anyways, I digress. Back to this one. Huge show, man. All the champions are on the card. 2 of the titles are on the line. It's going to be a huge show. My fingers aren't going to fall off because I've got a lot of people who stepped up to help me. Big shout out, big thank you to everybody that helps write matches. I put the credits at the end of the results, but that's not really enough. Thank you. Just thank you sincerely. Like, if we didn't have people helping out with stuff like this, Thunder Pro wouldn't be running like it does. But hey, I really appreciate those, man. A good Fed is only as good as its staff, really. You got to have good RPers. You got to have a good Fed head. And you got to have good help. You guys got 2 of the 3, and that's RPers and help. And you're stuck with me as the Fed head for right now. So, anyways, let's get to this card. We got our opening match. Marcus Decarian against Cole the Dude Dominguez. Cole the Dude Dominguez is one half of the Party Bros. Sammy G was in action recently and lost, as they always have. So maybe this time Cole the Dude Dominguez can pick up a win, but I highly doubt it because Marcus Decarian will be running the match, because that's what happens when you face an NPC. You write the match and send it in. Instead of having to write a role play, you just write the match and send it in. So if you guys ever want an easy 1 point in your rankings and standings, just write a little squash match and send it to me with your when you sign up for an NPC match. It does make it a little bit harder to tell stories. Generally try to tell a story with that as well. But hey, if you're new, you're trying to knock off some rust, get your foot in the door, send in that NPC match, and you're good to go. After that, we have our first match of the quarterfinals of the Sex Cup. This match, I got a feeling this one's going to be really good, because I was really impressed by both teams' role plays last time around. We got Young Goated against the Dream Weavers. It's going to be very interesting. Brooke Blakely has been on a roll since coming to Thunder Pro. She's done very well. Last Friday Night Fury, she sent the retiring Serena Riot riding off into the sunset with a hitch in her giddy up. Throwing in some cowboy terms there for you. So the Dream Weavers, they impressed last go around, so we'll see how they do this go around. They got a tough team, man. Tyler Cage and James Raven, Young and Goated. It's going to be tough. The role players are going to be bangers, I'm sure. Either one of these teams are going to be tough to beat right now. So we'll see how that one goes. Really awesome opening tournament match for the quarterfinals, as you will. After that, most likely got a segment. I'm trying to pull up this card here. Got a little bit of traffic going, so we're not going to do that right now. You got to stay safe, folks. After that, we got a segment from Alexander Marshall, Terry Marshall's little brother. Alexander Marshall, going to probably address what happened with Peter Vaughn destroying the arena sign. Not probably. He's definitely going to address that. That's something you would address. You wouldn't just sweep that under the rug. Probably going to give us another update on Terry Marshall. Probably going to give us an update on the punishment for Peter Vaughn. Who knows what else he's going to have to say. I know, but you got to tune in to find out, people. It's the suspense. Nobody knows. It's provocative. Gets the people going. After that, we got another tournament match. Another quarterfinal Sex Cup. We got the Manhattan Project. Jay Mont and Thad the Dad taking on the Gangsters of Christ. It's going to be another good one, man. Actually, I don't know why I say another one good one. All these are going to be good ones, let's be honest. Best tag team tournament in e-fetting. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm saying that it is. I guess best is, up to your discretion. But let's see. Good is in the eye of the beer holder. But Gangsters of Christ against Manhattan Project. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be another tough match to call. Gangsters of Christ definitely stepped up their game for their last role play. Every match, they've asked for feedback on every role play. And they've listened. There's a difference between asking for feedback and then just keeping on what you're doing. And then there's a difference between asking for feedback and using the advice that was given to you. Using your strengths and your weaknesses. Honing those strengths, focusing on them. Brushing the edges off those weaknesses, trying to fix those up a little bit. So it's going to be interesting. Thad and Jay Bond are good. Obviously they're good. They're premier players of the game. Gangsters of Christ are good. They're getting better every match, every go-around. After that, we've got another segment. This time for Mud with 1D. Mudmouth. He's been dropping some CD RPs, building up his character, telling his story. It's getting interesting there. What I will suggest to Mudmouth is, he's got good trash talk in his promos, really. His trash talk's not bad. His his promos on his role plays really aren't bad. I would suggest taking these stories that you're telling in your CD, character development post, and putting them with those promos, man. Mudmouth has like potential. He leaves a lot on the table by turning in short role plays with, and like I said, quantity is going to be quality. But let's be honest, when you're doing like a 500, 750 word role play and somebody's putting up a 2,000 word role play, there's a lot more material to be good in a 2,000 word role play, or even a 1,500 word role play. So I think Mudmouth, he's building up his character. The character development's good for him. Take these character development stories and mix them with your promos. You're going to have some good role playing. I think you're going to find some success in that. After that, we've got our three-way dance. And a three-way dance as Aaron Warthog, Prestige Worldwide Superstar Volcane, and Jared Reed meet. With the winner of this match moving on to face JC Phoenix for the Prestige Championship at Retromania. This will be a good one, man. We got two big old hosses. Jared Reed's no little boy either. It should be an interesting match. Role plays should be interesting. You've got Jared Reed, the young up-and-comer. You've got Volcane, the veteran who's been away from the business, coming back, trying to knock that rust off with Brennan and Dale at his side. And you've got Aaron Warthog, the family man, who's he's had a run in him lately, but he just always comes up a little bit short. Memphis Belle's getting him on the right track. He's been killing it on the gridiron. By gridiron, I mean local football fields. So maybe, it's a toss-up, man. You never know who's going to come out with this. Is Aaron Warthog going to stampede over the competition? Is Volcane going to make these people have the number 13 tattooed on their neck? Awesome. Danzig song right there, by the way. Or is Jared Reed going to continue to impress, show why he is an amateur All-American? We're going to find out Friday Night Fury. After that, we're going to hear from TLS, the Lost Stranger, the Lost Soul. I think TLS can just stand for whatever you want it to stand for. But normally it's the Lost Soul. We're going to hear from him. He's like, hey, why are you coming out and watching Fook and Hooch? You got a problem with Fook and Hooch? Is it because you guys are former OCW alum? I know you guys had some beef with your stables at one point in OCW, so we're going to see what happens there. After that, we've got a segment from our newest tag team. These people came in and said, hey, we're getting these characters back together, brushing the dust off. Didn't want to try to get in the Sex Cup. We want to start fresh. The team of Lights Out. Now, are they going to put out some Lights Out role plays that put their opponents lights out? Or are they going to shine the spotlight on Lights Out? I can't really think of any light puns right now. I'm sure those were both terrible, so I apologize about that. Thank you if you're still listening after some of the ridiculous stuff I've said. But it's going to be interesting, hey, see what Lights Out has to say. We got some new people coming in. Had a lot of, 4 new people join recently. That's awesome. Thunder Pro is growing. I think some people have said they're going to stick around after the Sex Cup. So, that's awesome. Thank you guys. I think we're going to be in a great spot after Retromania and the Sex Cup's over. They're going to have a good, solid roster. And I'm looking forward to it. But, hey, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. We're on the journey right now, folks. The journey of the Sex Cup, which will continue. But that's not going to continue after the Lights Out segment. I apologize. It will continue after the Lights Out segment. And it will continue with Critical Hit against the Convictical. Convictical. My enunciation is not very good this morning. This is going to be a good match. Convictical, they definitely impressed. Convictical, hit me up. Let me know which 2 members will be representing the team this go around. Critical Hit, Larry Tack, Buster Gloves. On the come up, man. They made a rebound against VLI. It was a tough match. I think this will be a tough match too. But if anybody's up to a tough match, it's Buster Gloves and Larry Tagged. Larry's a veteran of this game, man. He's solid. You know, we were talking about the other day, the old school days, the 90s, playing this game. Stuff we'll remember, trends that we remember. Buster, I know he's had some ups and downs here lately, man. He's had some big wins. He's had some tough losses. But really, man, he's got it. He just has to focus in on where he wants his character to be. Like, he has some ups and downs sometimes, you know, different feds. I'm in another fed with Buster. And, man, Buster's got all the tools to be a main event player in any fed that he goes to. He just has to, sharpen those tools, grease the wheels, find his lane, get in that lane, get in that story, and roll with it, man. Him and Larry got a good story rolling right now. So, I mean, I think, he's going to find his groove, and he's going to be tough to beat. Critical Hit's going to be tough to beat. But like I said, Convictical, man, they impressed with their win over 6G. They had me sweating for a little bit if they were going to show up or not. But they showed up and showed out. Pulled off a big win, so this is going to be a good match. After that, we got a segment that's open. Anybody want the segment, hit me up. Claim that segment. You got it. After that, we got Nova Sky, the American champion, taking on JC Phoenix in a non-title match. They're angling this match, and with the angle they got been going on, I'm interested to know what's going to happen. What's going to happen with Charlie? Charlie's the dog, if you're not sure about that. Is the Pyromancer going to show up and turn this into an Inferno match? I hope not, because Fire Marshal might shut us down, and we got plenty to go after that. But it's going to be interesting. Like I said, the great thing about this angle is not the great thing. I mean, it's very handy to me. We got the Sex Cup's taking a lot of work, a lot of promotion, a lot of focus, and then every other aspect you have to come up with. So when you get two people that got a story they want to run, and you can be hands off, and you can just sit back and watch it unfold, and it's good. I mean, it's golden, man. You can really ask for a whole lot more. So I'm looking forward to this. Looking forward to seeing what they got going on. After their segment, we have another open segment. So if you want that spot, hit me up. Look, if the segments are full, or if you're not booked to do a segment, when I book segments, you can still send a segment in. We're going to get it in there. Like 999, sit one in. Our Mystery Man, sit one in. Somebody else sent one in. Like, got a little extra one for Nova Sky. We'll put them in there, man. Like, that's what builds your stories, builds your characters. So we'll get them in there. Don't think that just because it's full on the lineup that you're not going to be able to get it in. We'll get it in. That's what it's all about. The segments build the show and build the characters, not just the matches. Really, just like real professional wrestling, the story is more important than the match. The story is what gets people to come back for more. So you're going to build that character and build that story up. After that, we have what could be a main event, but in this crazy world, this crazy tournament, it's not the main event. When the Malvados defend the duos titles against Tristan Slater and Mac Bain. Now, the Malvados are very upset about having to be in this tournament and having to defend their titles. And I get it, rightfully so. But Alexander Marshall, like you said, you better lawyer up, get the best lawyers you can.
Call Stephen P. News.
Because Thunder Pro is making sure that you're there and defending these titles. So will the Malvados show up? Will they be protesting? We'll find out. But anyways, they have this match, which I don't know if they're going to have this match or not. They will have this match, by the way. Kayfabe. It's going to be good, man. The Malvados have been a staple of Thunder Pro Wrestling since they started. And then, like, they give you a good mix of funny and serious. They're going to make you laugh and be like, ooh, that was good. All in one, man. The handler of the Malvados, I don't know if everybody knows who they are. I'm sure they do. Same guy that does, like, Marcus, Xavier Lux. I'm sure everybody knows. I mean, Doug's good. Like, let's be honest. He's had success pretty much everywhere he's been. There's a couple places, he hasn't done as well, but it's just different for him than what he's used to. But he's good, man. Tristan Slater and Mike Bain are good too, though. that last role play, like I was laughing with their little Bill and Ted adventure. Like I said, maybe a little bit too closely resembled to Bill and Ted, but it was good. This is going to be a good, tough match, and whoever wins this thing is going to deserve to be Duos champions. But they're going to have to be ready to defend them next Friday Night Fury as well. So it's going to be a good one. After that, we've got another segment that's open. I'm sure we're going to get somebody in there. I'm sure we'll have segments to put in there. Then it's main event time. Normally he would be Chronic Chris Page. This time he's Crazy Chris Page. He said, "Hey, I want to defend my title on the 21st." I was like, you want to put the title on the line? He said, "Yeah." And I'll be honest, it's an open challenge because when I posted on the, sign-up sheet, nobody jumped on the chance to face Chris Page. Then, right before the card was getting ready, had somebody hit me up and said, "Hey, I'll take this match." And I said, okay, I know you've got some other stuff going on with other stuff that you're doing. Like, are you sure? He's like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "Okay, well, we've got the match." So we kept it, a little secret, a little kayfabe. Then when I posted the card with the open challenge, I had 5 different people within an hour hit me up on different platforms and said, "Hey, is it Chris Page thing still open?" I'm thinking, man, where are all these people when I was asking for signups? I get it, man. Sometimes you'll pay attention to that, sometimes you don't think about it. But yeah, well, like I said, since I posted the card, I've had at least 7 different people ask if they could answer the open challenge. But it's already been answered. We've already got the opponent scheduled in. The opponent was scheduled in before the card was posted. We're just keeping a little surprise, You got to keep the suspense going. You got to make people want to tune in to see who it was. Now, the role plays for this match will not be posted to the public. They're going to be directly sent to me after the results are up. The role plays will be posted. So, a little heads up here for everybody. On the 21st, the day that this show has been posted, I am going out of town for a little mini family vacation. Taking my kids to the zoo and a couple other spots. A little weekend getaway with as hectic as our life has been, with all the activities we have going on. We're finally getting a weekend where nobody has any activities. And we're going to spend some quality family time together. So on the 21st, I am going out of town early. But I have made arrangements for you beautiful people for Peter Vaughn to post the results for us. Hopefully that's all right that I told everybody that, Peter. He's going to be posting the results for you guys. They may not be at 5 o'clock, may not be Friday afternoon Fury. Might be Friday Night Fury. But hey, he's going to go ahead and post them for us, get them all up there. We get as much done for him before I leave as I can. So big shout out to him for helping out with that. We got an awesome card, but we got an awesome roster to make that card awesome. I thank you all. Big shout out to Peter Vaughn and a big thank you to him for stepping up to do that. You guys have a great day. Have a great weekend. Looking forward to Friday Night Fury. Peace out, all my love slaves and thunder maniacs.